you that's like you've
Are we live? Are we going?
mentally quit the band like 6 times.
All right, we're gone. We're gone, by the way.
Elliot's there
Today.
today.
Drink, Elliot.
I'm right. I have one.
Just got him up here.
I mean, yeah. If you want to talk about real, do you want to talk about
quitting the band?
real shit or negative shit? I don't really think it's
real.
all stuff.
We want to
Real
talk
shit,
about real
and then it'll
negative
get
shit.
funny, I'm sure.
I don't feel like it's negative because the greatest that any band worth listening to is always about to break up, in my opinion.
It's like a fine line.
The Clash,
Yeah.
the Strokes, the Sex Pistols, the Rolling Stones, like, and I'm not saying that we're in that.
I've always been a big believer
Tier.
in you must compare yourself to the fucking greatest things in the fucking world. Otherwise,
Well,
you're
they're a
just a
benchmark,
fucking
right?
loser already, right?
Yeah.
But
My point about it is, though, it's like I wish that we weren't always breaking up. It'd be way less stressful.
But not as much fun, I'm sure. Like,
Well, I just don't think the band would be that good.
yeah.
then
Yeah.
what happens is you feel like this, and then you'll go and
Play
have
a
a
fucking
fucking
killer
killer
show.
show, and you remember, oh, okay.
That's
Yeah.
what we do.
We did this last week.
That
That's
was one of
right.
the things, like, when I was, Jake's like, oh, can you do some research? I just wanted to read up and stuff because I just sort
I
of...
like that you did
So we
that.
got some shit to talk, and it was interesting reading up on and interviews and shit that you guys had done in the past. That was basically my research, was just reading stuff you'd said previously.
Well,
And,
that's
like,
good research because that's
Yeah.
it's come out of our mouth. So it's not alleged, which is
Yeah.
like everything's
And,
alleged.
I swear, and one of the things was because
Can I use this
what
enough?
came from it was like obviously you guys have done a shit ton of tours with some of the biggest bands in the world, all over the world, and it's like you've been working on this album for a lot longer. But like, is this like touring when you first went on tour with the Delta Rigs and you're probably like shitting your pants in a fucking good way? Like, what does it feel like now? You still like is the feeling the same? Like, are you as excited to go out on the road? Or are you worried about the fact you're gonna fucking fall out? Or like, are you like actually? I know what it's like. We'll fucking hate each other and we'll play a killer show and then we'll all be best friends again until the next night.
When we first started, it was like we were doing three-hour sets, like 3 1-hour sets, and we just fucking be, we used to just play.
When it was the important sets for us were when they would give us a bottle of Jameson, and this is
Yeah.
because A, we love Jameson, but B, we're actually literally too broke to afford a bottle between us. So if we got a show and it was like, all right,
That important.
the manager would call up and be like, all right, guys, you're getting paid $300. And you get a bottle of Jameson. We'd all be
you
like,
gotta play
"All right,
for 3
this
hours."
is serious, guys. They've got the
Yeah,
Jameson.
yeah.
Like we'd be
Pull
like,
it out the stops.
Yeah.
But I guess as like life goes on and you get, we were young. Now we're
Yeah.
older. I'm impatient as fuck.
Yeah.
So like,
And
you
you're
lose-
old as fuck.
Yeah, I'm
Getting
old
old
as
and
fuck.
embracing
it's,
it.
But it's like you spend your time as you get older
Thinking
trimming
about
the
your
fat,
hips.
trimming the fat.
Think
not
about
the
your
fat on
hips.
stomach, but
Yeah,
like you want to just fucking live
fucking
life. You
peripherals,
don't know when
yeah.
it's gonna end. You want to just have everything the way, and sometimes it can't be.
That was, I tell you,
It's
sorry.
different. Obviously, yeah. Monty likes his creature comforts.
Yeah.
He's always been about that.
Like what? Give me one example.
Like he likes a couch. He
Love
likes
a couch.
5 to 6 hours in his underwear. You know what I mean? Like he likes to eat a
Clean socks
meal.
every day.
Like remember when you're like 16 and your your parents had friends around for the family lunch or whatever, and then like because you were 16, you could just like eat the shit out of the meal and then just go and lie on the couch and just watch Foxtel. That's what Monty is doing still to this day, but it's like it's socially not actually acceptable to
Yeah,
do that.
after
as
he's
an
invited
adult.
the people
I
to
do it
his
when
house.
it's appropriate. I don't just do it every day.
One day you like that Boxing Day. That's it.
Fully, yeah. I mean, for me,
Look,
the
I get a
thing
lot
is
done.
the difference between I'm all right with the creature comforts. That's all right, but I feel like my amount of touring has actually stepped up as I've gotten older as well. So not only like you change your attitude towards touring, I'm touring too much. So inevitably, like when I get back on the road with the rigs and stuff, I'm already a bit off it because I've been doing it for like I was saying to Jake just before this interview started, I did 2 European tours in the same season this year. Did a 7-week tour, came home for like 5 weeks, and then did a 4-week tour, and then came straight back and went into a rigs tour. So your psyche is going to
But
change.
the rigs
No, I
is
mean
like-
you're asking the question. I'm giving the fucking answer.
But the rigs is like your home because
up, Monty.
I said to Jake the other day at the gym, we go to the fucking gym, and that like I was like I didn't realize Elliot played in like Wolf Mother for a moment. And he's like, he was like Elliot. And he's like, fuck off. And I was like, and then that thing was like you did all these tours, but it was always about coming back to the rigs. Like it was.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
were never,
Always
you never
better.
like it was never shutting the door. It was just like
Oh,
the opportunity, but I'm always coming home.
Still now, the rigs is still the best shit to do.
Yeah.
It's just, like everything, you got to pay. That's what I am.
It's
I
like if
gotta
you
pay
hit the
bills
hit the ground at 10, and then like maybe the other guys aren't at 10, and then that's the
Yeah.
word. So it's like, I'm fucking ready to do this, and you guys are.
I'm match fit. You know?
And then it's
I'm
like that's the impatient thing. It's like you start getting shitty with everyone.
Yeah.
It's like, hurry up, cunt! Like fucking.
Yeah, Monty's coming off the back of his
blowing
8th
up.
barbecue weekend. You're like, mate.
All right. Leave my eating habits alone.
Looking great though, Monty.
But
Thanks, guys.
what's the mental fucking stress like? The physical stress we've just covered is the fact it's very low because he's in his bathrobe most of the day. But what's some fucking mental and emotional stress be like running a fucking business that is a fucking rock and roll band? Because that's what the reality is. You guys got to fucking pay bills. You got to fucking pay staff. You got people. You got
It's exhausting,
so
man.
many fucking people out there. Not doing your bidding, but actively fucking engaged in the brand that is the Delta Rigs and the reality of the show, which is the Delta Rigs. Like, that's all got to fucking take some sort of a toll day in, day out. It's not just about you guys. It's like the added stress of having to carry them and hold them in mind has got to have some sort of an impact.
It takes a huge
it's
toll.
exhausting.
It's taken a huge toll recently on Monty and I because unfortunately we do a lot of the behind the scenes, not like business logistical shit, and when
two
you've
other
been
people.
friends with each other for a long, well, it's kind of similar for you guys. I don't know if you ever butt heads, but like we like
Always.
sometimes don't want to be around each other, and we have
We
to
didn't
be.
talk for 4 days last week.
Really?
Him and I.
Yeah, I actually sent a message to
But I
Jack
don't
from
like
the
it.
Preachers.
Yeah.
Saying what?
Can you sort this shit out?
So
You know a
Jack,
good lawyer?
Jack called
I love it
me.
like really low
Jack-
fucking
yeah.
rent version of some kind of monster from Metallica.
Yeah, Jack was out.
But just getting
Jack was
Jack
out.
on the
version.
just going, playing like the fucking.
was our
And so what
therapist.
do you guys fucking
Yeah.
feel about this?
Yeah, because I got a call from Jack. I'm like, oh yeah, you and Elliot are going through. I'm like, how the fuck do you know about it? Yeah, he's a cunt. I'm fucking off.
He's
him. I
sitting
don't wanna
next
talk
to me. Elliot's like hitting, slapping him. He's like, ask him.
But you know what? At the end of the day, it's that shit comes around, and as long as you can be man enough to apologize if you're in the
A
wrong,
woman.
and
Communication,
take
eh?
it,
Like,
and like be like, yeah,
A
okay,
woman
yeah,
enough, you
I was
fuck.
fucking red hot. I didn't think. I'm sorry.
that's all we
That's
we
all you
find
need in
out,
life.
Like, when you ask, like, you know, we do and we don't. We really don't. But like, when the occasion arises,
do.
like, it's all about just fucking talking it out, or like
Yeah,
pulling
just
each
be
other
like, this
aside
pissed
to
me
be
off,
like, just
this
to
is
say that
this.
this is what it is. This is why I'm like this right now.
I felt like this because of this, and you're like, okay, I can
That's
see it
like
like that.
But that's the difference between someone or a group that can fucking hit lightning and not turn it into fucking anything. They just get fucking zapped by lightning.
Yeah.
We're like, well, if you can capture it in the
catch
bottle,
the
Bottle it.
lightning,
Yeah. Bottle
and
the
fucking
lightning.
put it there, and then not let it escape, but also actually fucking convince it to grow somehow. That's the fucking
That's the
trick.
magic formula.
Because you know, like I'm a big believer in the fact that like there's so many people who have had lightning strike, and you watch them, and it just turns to fucking ashes.
Fully.
It turns to ashes in their hands before they've even had an opportunity to turn it into the potential of anything actually great.
But I think that's what the difference is. It's the people that can not even recognize it. It's like a subconscious thing. It's like feel it and go with it, as opposed to the people don't even know that it's happened and they keep going. And you know they don't.
How do you reckon bands like Cosmic Psychos are still doing that kind of
I
shit?
haven't
Like,
even thought about it the way you just explained it, but it's true. Like to harness that is a skill set.
without
in itself.
which
acknowledging
most
it.
people don't
Yeah.
like.
Built
People
through
are just
respect.
aiming for the fucking lightning bolt, and they're not thinking past the fucking strike. They
But
just,
what if, Jake, though? What if the people that know how to harness and bottle it, it's like, you
They
know,
never get
it's
it.
ignorance is bliss. No, it's like, you know, when you don't, if you say, like, don't see the barrier doesn't exist. So people that are doing that have somehow cracked the code already and are just, like, which,
Well,
because
yeah,
I've
I-
never, like, as soon as you said it like that, I'm like, what?
I feel like they're like the Jack Whites of the
Well,
world.
I always say that
the Jack Whites of the world, like he knows he's got lightning in his fucking fingertips, but he's also for some reason been mentally prepared to just kind of go, zang, pop, and hold
Here it is,
and
yeah, this
boom.
is coming out now. Boom.
Yeah.
Which is a fucking it is a skill set in and of itself. I feel like the people who can have precog kind of that ability, like I know I have this, I need to work on holding it.
Yeah,
people
but it's
around
the
you
fuck-
or,
it's-
like,
it's also-
it's
they're the
also
magicians,
a
man.
product of like your environment. Like how do I say it? Like the album we just released, I feels like our best fucking album. But like,
Talk to us about the album.
At the
real quick.
moment, like,
What's it named?
Hang on,
What's it
hang on,
called?
hang on. Modern Pressure is the
Yeah,
name of the
dance.
record. Yep, good record. But
Great
at the
record.
moment, it's like rock and roll guitar bands aren't really what's hot, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, for example, we went and saw fucking Bad Dreams the other night. It was a free gig. It was a Cooper's show.
We
It was
also
free-
love Bad Dreams.
We love them.
I
yeah.
love
Yeah.
that.
Their
We all love
record
that.
is amazing.
We're trying to get
We're
them to
really
play your
good
hits,
friends.
It's never quite come
But
off.
we're great, mate. But anyway, this is just the state of
Yeah.
this style of music. We go,
Yeah.
it's free bar open all night at the fucking Coogee Bay Hotel. Free burgers,
Coogee.
and there's fucking 60 people there. And Bad Dreams are playing. You're like, what's going on?
Well, that's a
Why
fucking
is
beautiful.
If this was fucking Tones and I,
Guitars ain't
it'd
cool
be
anymore.
packed. But it's like,
for a
what's
moment.
going on there?
But that's a little, nice little fucking segue into something that's happened just recently, e.g. today, which is Sydney lockout laws have just been repealed. So, do you think that reality would have existed in another fucking city?
Did you hear about that?
No,
You
I think
read
it's
about it?
happening
You read the
everywhere.
thing?
We just heard from Jake
Yeah.
today.
No, I think
The
I
bearer
think
of
it's
great
just,
news.
It's just the state of music today. It's
Whiskey,
like the circle of it and the cycle that it goes through. It's like people aren't interested in
In rock
going
and
to
roll
see a
bands?
Rock and roll. Well, not still there. They're subcurrent, but they're not like the. You know, like when the Jet and the Vine, Jet and the Vines and the Strokes, and it was all
The
guitar. Now you look at it, it's
And
all
the
urban.
Vine
It's all
and the
urban trap,
soul.
Mate,
hip
when
hop,
they-
and it's not a bad thing. I'm just saying it's like it's
Well,
kind of
it's
like
cyclical.
But
So
I feel like that's just here though, like because in Melbourne that shit's alive and well. In
No, but
LA
even-
that shit is alive and well. In New York it's alive and
But
well.
not
In
really.
Hamburg and Germany, I was just there, it's
established
alive-
bands are though, but not like there's no like.
Well, what
cool
about then?
undercurrent.
What about the Tote?
And what about like Amel and
Gives a
Simples
fuck.
just playing Jules Holland?
Yeah,
You know,
And
like
this-
a fucking band from Tasmania
Yeah.
playing Jules
That's
Holland
cool
and
shit.
Idols like blowing the fucking world up
Yeah,
with
so
fucking
that's-
punk rock.
That's that
you know?
lightning shit. It's like some
Thank you, mate.
like you can't. Sometimes you're just prohibited by your own. Like we love to be able to be Jack White and fucking be able to go into a sick studio and just put out a record, but we don't have. We can't because of the where we're at. We can't really do that. It's
Yeah.
Well, there's-
financial struggles of being a band and having a.
And
So-
people don't
so-
realize that though. Sorry to interrupt,
No,
but
it's fine.
like sometimes when you're like, you know, you have these fans reach out, super fans, and people that love the band to death, and they, like, I've met kids.
Has anyone
in the
got
street.
a tattoo of you guys yet?
There was a
Yeah,
tattoo.
yeah,
the
there is,
Beehive.
yeah.
Baddest
Yeah, dog.
motherfucker
There's
in
a
the Beehive.
couple, but
Pretty cool.
I met a dude. I was like drunk and stoned. I ran out of my flat and I went to buy a packet of crisps. It was about 11:30 at night, and this ran into a bunch of kids, and they're like, "You look like singer from Delta Rigs." I'm like, "Yeah, I am." They're like, "No, you're not.
You're
You're
right,
not.
look
You're not
exactly
him.
like that guy."
Why would you be at this convenience store?" I'm like, "Because I want a pack of chips because I'm stoned." And they're like, "And how'd you get here?" I'm like, "I live around the corner." I'm like, "You live in a
By
mansion?" I'm like,
helicopter.
"Do I?"
Yeah.
Because last time I checked, I fucking was behind about 2 weeks on rent. So I'd love to know who this cunt is living in the mansion that looks
Posing
like
as the Delta
Like-
Rigs singer.
One of our good friends that we met through like all of the shit that we were doing is Dave Miller from Pivot, and he's like IT nerd, does some like
IT nerd.
he's an IT nerd. He's like fucking loves it. He does like website shit with us. He helps us out whenever he can, and he's very smart and really thinks about the music industry very deeply. And he was like, he spoke to me one night about the fact that there was like that 50-year period from like, basically early Elvis to like the early 2000s, like Jay-Z and all these people making tons of money. That was like a blip in the radar where people paid a fortune for music. Other than that, art is basically just given for free.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know if it'll ever come back.
Well,
it's
I
like
was
that when
watching-
people were earning hundreds of millions of dollars, like that might not exist anymore, or it's reimagined and now it's merch and it's live show because your
yeah.
music just goes. Now you're building a brand, you're selling a brand through merch and other sort of like loyalty or
And
however you can
we knew
imagine
that getting into it though. And we've never obviously we've never had any, so we couldn't be about it. But we never did this to make any money.
No,
So
not
why
at all.
keep
Actually,
doing it?
because we love fucking playing music and we
Yeah,
believe
that's
in
the fucking
we
thing,
believe
Ryan.
in we actually believe in the band. So we just talked about we could have broken up a million times, and we've
Yeah.
seen a lot of bands come and go.
And I think that
And-
when we were talking about that earlier, like, I mean, do you guys feel the same? Like, for Jake and I, when we were talking about like why, like how you sort of move past things, whatever. Like, for us, it's just like a deep sense of respect to not want to let the other one down. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like whenever you think fuck they or whatever, or like, or you think for a moment that you're not pulling your weight or you're not being
Yeah.
creative enough, or you're not whatever. It's like, I just don't want to let this person down because
Yeah, fully.
they're put it there, like they've got everything on the line.
Well, I get
Why
like
would
that.
I not just fucking stand up and do my bit?
I find that when we're at that point is like when we're in a studio recording a record and like we're all everything's ready to go. We've been setting up all day. We've got headphones on you know, and we're going live to tape. There's 14 minutes of a tape, and it's like if you fuck up the song, we have to start it all again, rewind the tape. And it's like, so that whole mentality of not wanting to, and we've often said this, is like, it's so on edge because you're playing this live out of your own fucking hands with 5 other people. For some, you're connected, and it's like you just don't want to fuck something up for the other guy, because then he's gone like
he's got to do it again as well.
And it's like then you lose that bottled magic, because it's like the first 2 or 3 takes. You could do a song 20 times, but you're never gonna get it like the first couple of times, because it's fresh and you're on that tightrope. So it's like that not wanting to let someone down.
But that's one angle to the whole like not letting someone let someone down. And I get that every day of my life, but there's also a reason to keep fucking fronting up to the studio. Next time.
Yeah, turn up.
Like, to go, are we going to do this again? And that's got to come from a deeper place.
That, for me, comes from...
It's got to come from a deeper
place. If I write a good song, or we have a good session in the studio, I'm literally, like, high off that for about... I get 4 or 5 days of it. Like, I feel valued as a human being. Like, I'm a contributing member of society. I've done a song. This song is going to be great. It's going to be on the radio. It's going to get someone out of bed in the morning. And then that feeling goes, and then... They go back to feel like a loser again, but you can always go back into the studio and
that's, I guess, that's what keeps you there. It's the high of the highs. Like, you know, you play a fucking amazing show and you come off stage, you're jacked. Like, that sort of thing. Those little moments, like I've always said, the fucking playing in a band is so annoying for so many reasons, but like the 40 minutes to an hour that you get on stage when you're having a show and it's live and there's people there and there's energy in the room, and you're like, that is all worth all this shit.
It's like, I think we feel
this.
that like when we open a venue, and like, you know, for this here, the Lansdowne, and we'll talk about.
Which, by the way, we just want to like
that list is still up there.
It's like that moment or that week or that fortnight or that month when we open a venue is just like such a screaming run of adrenaline and excitement.
And
then it comes down to be like, no, it's just no. It's like doing that and then be like, oh no, we've got a fucking 8-month tour ahead of us, and it becomes a slog. And it's like, but that initial excitement is what keeps you motivated to keep like just
the next
chasing the high. Chasing the high.
2.5 years ago, you guys played the second night. Right, we had the launch party, and you guys played the first actual fucking gig,
the real show,
first real show here, right?
Yeah, of the reopening.
So that night I was there, fucking crying side stage.
He was blubbering,
and now this one I'm fucking going when you do sound check, going,
hurry up,
hurry up and fucking so we can do a podcast, you know. Yeah. But that's the fucking reality, like, of the grind. But the grind only exists because you still engaged in the fucking deeper purpose of what you're doing.
Well, you want to, you're a
the
human
deeper
being
purpose
with an
is
ego.
the thing that feeds it all.
And you've got to remember, it's like your venues and like our band, when we do get into that shit, you've got to remember, like, there's a whole world of people that this means a lot to. Like, this fucking venue means a lot to a lot of people.
And this band means a lot to.
Yeah.
And you forget that when you get wrapped up in that
when you get
bullshit.
into all the bullshit and the fighting and the bickering, and it's like, once we go on stage, the people that are there, this show's sold out tonight, they don't fucking know that we've had a blow up before sound check and been fucking.
And they don't fucking care.
They don't give a fuck. They came to see their favorite band, and that's what they're going to see, and they're going to go home and feel buzzed, and then it's a trickle down effect. They feel great as well. And
it's always like those the small wins that we used to fucking be nowhere. Like we've been doing this for 10 years. It's only been the last 4 or 5 that it's been since like 2014 that it's kind of stepped up a level, and we've got to, but it's like you get to that point of fucking you're on fumes and you got nothing left to give, and you're like, maybe we should just throw this, like, I'm sick of putting my emotional energy into it, and then something happens. It's like that happened with us. We were in the States, we'd been touring, we'd been playing the fucking nobody. We got to play this show in LA,
which we almost fucked up too.
We'd had
because can we say what is this rated?
We'd been bending.
We'd been on a bender.
Fuck, yeah.
We decided about 2 in the afternoon to be like, maybe we should put this gear away, and all our other shows have been pretty good. So, because we were like, nah, let's just bend into this last show. And the last one we decided, no, like, we played good shows, let's just play one more good one.
And we did. Then we bend all night, But like at that one, show, we went out to this desert to get his tooth fixed because it was chipped. So I'm sitting in this driver's seat,
Which is where I'd
in
go
the desert in the valley.
If I got a chip,
it was
I'd tell you where I'd go.
roadie Riley's
The desert.
uncle had this dentistry, and he was a
I'd
cheap
trust
cunt,
that.
so he wanted to go out there. So
I'd
I
trust
wasn't
that
cheap.
guy.
I
Numbing
was
you with
scared
peyote.
shitless, man. Nothing solid had passed through my mouth
Yeah,
in about
that's
a
fair.
week.
What sort of pain relief do you have? Peyote.
But the moral of the
I'll take it.
the moral,
I gotta eat a cactus, you bitch.
the moral of the story is we ended up flying straight back to Sydney.
I'm glad it's got a moral.
And when we landed,
the fucking
Foo
Aesop.
Fighters management happened to be at that show in LA. Happened
Yeah.
to be there. Kicked off whoever was on the tour here in the 24 hours that we'd been traveling.
It was violent.
And
Soho.
had listed and had announced us on their tour. So we landed.
Killer.
We were flying and landed and we're like, you're doing the Foo Fighters run, which is like stadium. It's like,
That's
fuck, I would never have dreamed that we'd do stadium.
So
So, it's like, that's one of those small wins that just at the right time comes along.
And a band
let's
that
keep doing this.
A band that I know we all love, and it's the opposite of what they achieved. Is when Oasis played in Los Angeles and did massive lines of meth that they thought was cocaine, and did one of the worst shows of their life.
Yeah, but that didn't
and
matter
never
to them.
got America ever after
Yeah,
that.
but they did, and yeah, that's right, that's right.
And
But so-
America was gone.
So there's
Yeah.
those
Love you,
little
Liam.
bits again, like that lightning thing. It's like that stuff happened that night, and we started that show. There was no one knew who we were. It was like a club night there. But then by the end of it, everyone was kind of vibing and pumping, and these guys were just there and go, these guys just turned this whole crowd around.
Yeah.
We need them on
You
this
can
tour.
do that sometimes.
But it was just that flash light bulb moment.
That's
where
one of
it
the
was
great
just like,
things
it
of
just
your
happened,
shows.
and
Like, you know, I've seen you live like 2 or 3 times. You played here, like, and your shows are fucking electric. The energy put in is, you know, like you're like fucking the top echelon of people who give a fuck about giving everything on stage when you play.
yeah,
It's fucking
well,
obvious.
You've got that's
Well,
what you've got.
I wanted to one of the things you mentioned to me earlier before we started is the fact that you reinvested in your show. So when you're fucking playing on fumes, you're investing everything of yourself, but then you get to a point where you go, all right, we can make more money, or we can make the show better for the fucking people.
Yeah.
For the punters, we can like set this on fire now. And there's got to be a part of you guys that is continually just masochistic to go, right, we're not going to fucking just rain and fucking coin. We're actually going to make it better now.
No, yeah. Well, like even tonight with the like lighting, you know, I'm like, fuck, we can't bring.
But
this
it's not
shit
just
into-
a lighting. Like,
but I'm just saying
you've got
in
like
general,
fucking
it's
how
just-
many people in your crew, and to be honest, like you don't need that to play a fucking pure rock and roll, sweat, blood, and tears show. True. But the fucking punters deserve more from you, or you feel that the punters deserve more from you than that, which is a fucking.
Well,
I
that's
think
what
it's
you
a
don't-
wonderful
like
thing.
The other thing is though, we don't want to like. Yes, we're a rock and roll band, but our whole for years we've been like, we don't want to be this like cliche Jack Daniels swinging Guns N' Roses fucking
Like us.
rock pig band.
Like us.
We want to push. You know, we're going into 2020. We're still trying to play rock and roll, so we want to give people a slick fucking
fresh-
version of what a
yeah.
current rock and roll show should look like. Not your fucking, you know,
Yeah, I watched this
double neck fucking
Yeah.
Gibsons and shit,
But
and
it's-
like
yeah.
Marshall. Like so,
And
yeah,
it's-
we do.
Marshall Stacks. Like,
It's we could probably do these shows without the same kind of crew, but it would not be the slick Delta
But it's-
rig
and
show.
it's
that
a
you used to
hybrid,
kinda
like
see.
it's-
But
And,
what
like,
was the motivation to do that? Because I think that's
Well,
not
just-
what most people even fucking fathom. They don't think about any of that.
for ourselves in a way as well as giving a like he was like, we need to get this and this, we need to sort this. I'm like, do we really need to, you know, like we butt heads on it, but it was more like, you know, I'd fucking want people to go to the show and be like blown away and want to come back and feel like that they've earned their ticket price.
and I'd prefer to not
Paid
get
money
paid
and-
and
yeah.
put on a show like that than take
Yeah.
home
which
some
is
cash and like.
fair enough.
Yeah, the generosity for your crowd, and then like I think Jake and I like that. Jake's definitely a more is more. I'll be trying to like trim the fat before we get there, so
But
we're not taking a
can I
bath.
put
I feel
We're
like
not
I'm
taking
on
a bath,
this?
but we're not losing money
because you look at the accounts and he doesn't, whereas that's, you know, it's the same thing.
But I
I
feel like
do-
it's like
I look- I
it's
look at
kind
the
of
accounts
worked
in a
for you
different
guys,
way.
where it
Yeah.
hasn't really worked.
you
for
guys
us.
have-
Like,
yeah.
you guys have a few venues now. We're still just got one band.
band.
But
Well, we've always got one band. The band's just getting
The
bigger.
bands is together.
Yeah.
That's
The
right.
band's
Just
just getting
albums,
bigger now.
really. Like the venues are albums, as far as we sort of think about
We
that.
do think about that
we
quite
just
a
got to
lot.
keep touring those fucking albums the whole time.
And sometimes a fucking album is like a fucking great concept and it doesn't quite land. But the reality is, what we have, which is different to a rock and roll band, it's like that. And we speak about this because we do talk about our venues as albums as a wider, bigger concept. But where the reality is, we have the ability to fucking change an album.
Yeah.
Whereas an album for you guys is locked in fucking stone. Like it's literally like burnt into the
can do
fucking
Yeah.
But on
burnt
Spotify,
into
though,
something.
You can't just take
Whereas
songs
we can
out.
kind of go,
Let's fuck that one off.
we fucked up.
But
we
I've
can
read
redo.
stories now, like it's not stories, like true,
true.
Like, because no one's buying CDs and shit anymore. You stream it on Spotify, so people have gone back in
And created their own album.
Just changed
No,
the
yeah,
album.
this is
Changed
true.
the song.
I read this,
What do
and
you
it's
mean?
happening, man.
Like, because
So
it's all streamed, if your album's only
You
like
can make
on
it, yeah,
Spotify,
Kanye
you go
did it
back in and be
twice.
like, I
Last
don't like
two
that
records.
song,
And
and you
take that
tweak
out
it.
of the playlist.
no,
you
not
try
even
to
take it
band.
out, man.
You
Like
put
let's
a new
put
version.
let's bring the
And
bass
you
line
band
up a
up
little
even as
bit.
a-
No, the band
consumer.
puts a new version. If you don't like track 4, wasn't happy with it, actually we've done a
Really?
better version, you sub it out, and you do a new track 4 because no one owns the hard copy anymore.
Kanye does
It's
it all the
streamed.
time.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he went back in the studio like the last 2 records. He was like, he released Life of Pablo,
And then
released
changed
it
it.
completely, and then just fucking went, oh, by the way, that's not what I really meant, and went and did it again.
So it's just like
Well,
it's
it's
just like
something else.
bud.
I didn't mean it. I didn't
Entirely.
Yeah.
I hope he does that with the whole Jesus thing,
that's
to be
it.
completely
Yeah.
fair.
I meant it to be.
I mean, this is all.
Picasso was dead.
This is all the shit that goes on. Like you got 5 human beings playing music together. It's like
But is
Yeah,
a
well,
live
that-
that's
show
real.
kind of like that, where you guys get to fucking take a fucking song that you laid down, you put it in the studio fucking a year ago, but then when a punter turns up, you get to fucking set that song on fire, basically. You get to fucking pour gasoline all over it, set it on fire, and do a whole new take on that.
Yeah,
do we do that much?
yeah, we do. Like we do.
do.
Songs are generally like heavier, more guitar driven, and because like getting back to what I was
Yeah.
saying before, when we're presenting the record, we don't want it to be this cliche rock thing, so we try and push the production and have it go in different ways, and maybe instead of a guitar part, it'll be doubled on a keyboard part or whatever. But when you get to the live setting, people want to see that shit, so a lot of
Yeah.
that stuff will then go back to the guitars, and
Yes.
stuff will be beefed up, and
Entirely.
so yeah.
And I was like, again in my research of the La Delta rigs, I was
I love it.
Well, there's a lot of it was more about like the influences behind you is very much, and there's maybe a more Elliot thing. I know you're very classic, but it's like Elliot's like talking about NERD and like much more
That
like
was a big Elliot
hip
approach,
hop
yeah.
bound. So you're sort of trying to take these influences and like channel it through a guitar band. Like,
Well,
and
yeah,
it's-
that-
and
that-
maybe
that-
where the show comes from, or like the fucking groove or whatever
I'll
it is,
set
but
you
like
up here.
that's sort of like where, I don't know.
Well, that came a lot with Elliot's like inspiration behind that, but it was more. Yes, we're a rock band, but it was more the grooves because Elliot plays a lot of the drums, so it was like the grooves and the setups in that was like very hip hop influence, right?
Yeah, it's more of an urban influence as far as the rhythms and the way that the music comes together is, and yeah, because I am a drummer and I'm also one of the main songwriters. Even if I'm on a guitar or on a piano, it's usually approached quite percussively because it's from my drumming background. So a lot,
Yes.
especially with the record before, Active Galactic was really that. Which every band has a cocaine album. I think that was
Yeah,
ours.
we've had cocaine venues.
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
one of them.
this is yeah.
This
Every
is our
publican has a
cocaine venue, man.
We're not in a toilet right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, this is your oasis.
Actually, we are actually in a fucking toilet. This used to be the toilets.
Yeah, this is your
And this
oasis.
is
We
the-
might be
the-
giants. Record.
yeah.
No, but the thing is, we got to
Whatever it
fucking-
is, you know.
But we got to
Standing on the
remake
shoulders
it
of
because we
giants.
were like, oh my god, we were fucking high when we were fucking doing all of this.
Yeah.
And then we got to
The
go,
second
oh, we're
coming.
businessmen as well. And so we
Yeah,
went,
hang
bum,
on.
bum, let's
Maybe-
employ the right
yeah.
people and we fucking get to reimagine it, which goes back to my point before about reimagining. But you're right, everyone has their fucking cocaine record.
I think you
man.
take it in different ways too, and like even with the show, and this is just gonna sound absolutely whack because people never really think this, but I love Michael Jackson, and one of the first shows that my mum took me to was to see this stadium show,
Yeah, it was like 1992 or something.
and I watched Michael Jackson come out of this fucking spaceship and not move for like a minute and a half, and as he was not moving, the crowd just got more and more excited, and
it was
built,
the anticipation,
built,
right?
And I'm like,
Yeah.
I want to do shit like that. Like
Yeah.
I want to get shit get people feeling shit without having to do
the
anything, just
point
of
of it.
excitement.
Yeah.
And so a lot of this, the way that we try and run the show as well with the rigs is like it's supposed to be a thing that flows from the front to the end. It's not like a it's like once the show started, you're fucking on that train
Well, it's an
until you get to
experience.
the other end, and it's
different every
because
time.
we all fucking secretly do love pop. I love fucking
Yeah, fuck.
Who doesn't love
Yeah.
pop?
All got the
and
fucking.
I love
Greatest songs
fucking
ever
kick your
written.
teeth in rock and roll and like spit on the ground
you're
punk
allowed
rock as
to.
well. But why not put all that shit into the pot?
But at the
mix
same,
it all up.
you might want to spit on a fucking floor, but everyone loves the fucking intro to fucking Umbrella by Rihanna.
Yeah.
Like everyone, you fucking put that on. If someone doesn't like that,
What's
they're
that
a
Alicia Keys,
fucking
Jay-Z
idiot.
one?
Yeah.
They're a
Yeah.
fucking idiot.
Yeah.
What's
But-
the Alicia
yeah.
Keys Jay-Z song? I was like, this is like pop perfection.
Oh, that
Like,
New York song.
New York State-
Yeah, some of
yeah,
it's
New York
amazing.
State of Mind.
Taylor
That's like
Swift,
pop
man.
perfection.
Like Taylor
Wet
Swift,
Dream Tomato,
Taylor
whatever.
Swift songs are incredible. Like as pop, like
They used
Shake
to
It
be.
Off and Bad Blood and
Yeah,
shit. You're
they're
like
not
watching
anymore.
this shit, going like, like
I watched
that's a
her-
great song.
I watched her like we've been talking about so much podcast shit, thinking about what we're doing here, and one of the ones I've been watching is the Vogue,
Everyone's
like,
watching
70
this going,
73
they have not watched a fucking single podcast or podcast or
Well,
listened to
fucking-
anything yet. This
Well,
is drivel.
it's-
absolutely
Yeah.
fucking
No, we're
It's a
drivel.
music,
We're
it's a
getting to
music
the bottom
industry
of shit.
question because they said it. Taylor Swift was like, "What would you tell someone else starting out in the music industry?" And she goes, "Get a good lawyer." It's
Straight
like,
up. Yeah, of course.
yeah.
But she's American.
yeah, and she's
They
also
love
like
lawyers over
loves
there.
picking a fight.
She made
Yeah,
like
she does.
fucking $100 billion last year.
Yeah.
Some
You know,
shit.
I reckon
Yeah,
it's
so you
awesome.
can pay
Yeah,
for a
that
good lawyer,
fucking
you
lawyer.
bastard.
And also quite theatrical in the way that he, you know, and again, you wouldn't maybe think this, but I reckon Marilyn Manson is a hell man. He's got a great sense of humor.
What's he doing these days?
Dude, he's just done a lot of Xannies and doing interviews for Vice, but he's
Xannies.
still really funny and dressed like I was
He's
just
never
watching-
lost
Still
his
getting
sense of humor.
No,
Can you
he's-
imagine
Some of
coming
the
out
royalties
and
of the
doing
reruns
that?
of the Wonder
Yeah,
Years.
not
Can you
having-
imagine, like, can you imagine doing what he did?
It's not him.
Like
No, it's not,
now,
but I used to think it was
what
a joke.
level? But what level would someone have to be at to do what Marilyn Manson did?
At that
Then
time.
now,
Yeah, it's like exactly.
fully.
Like and
Fuck,
even
what would
like
that look
your
like?
Slipknots and all of those bands.
what
if
would
they came
that
out
look
now,
like? That
No
had
one
to
has the-
fucking sacrifice
Right now,
children.
No one has the
literal
balls to
children,
do
actual
that.
children.
No
yeah,
one.
everyone,
All
yeah,
the-
they'll get called out.
But yeah, but get called out for what? Because he was like, I mean,
It's not really, yeah.
he was so confronting
He
to
was every
every parent.
He was like nothing.
Every
he was like,
parent.
Well,
like
it was
he
in the
middle
timing
everything.
of when he blew up, and then the Columbine shootings happened. So he was, you know, they said that
'Cause
the
he
kids
wore
were listening to
all the
Marilyn
coats
Manson
and
records.
shit.
All
He
of a
was
sudden
one of
they're
the
talking to him,
most
and he's like,
beautifully
he's sitting there
fucking
and he's like,
eloquent human beings to
Yeah,
speak on the
articulate.
topic
100%.
of gun violence
and he
in
said
America.
that great. He said that
He's an
great
intelligent
quote.
person.
Can we just have one fucking person talking at a time here?
Yes, we
I've
will.
only got one sentence to say.
Go on.
It is this. He goes,
Say it, Elliot.
Jesus, is
He's-
this what you fun about?
Yeah.
he's sitting here, you know, and they're like, and what would you say to the kids now, the Columbine shooters that listen to your records? And he's like, well, I wouldn't say anything. I would ask them what they have to say because no one else did that, and that's why this happened. And it's
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
bang,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like you fucking smoked them,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marilyn Manson.
Fully.
God bless you.
It is. It's like, why?
The
Yeah, why
Antichrist.
did they do this? Like, why? What drove them to it? Not
Yeah,
like
it's
it's
not
your
a fuck-
fault. It's your fault.
Yeah.
It's
They
not a-
listen to
it's
you.
not a dude in
I'm
fancy
religious.
dress.
Yeah.
This is the devil.
He was in fancy dress. Like I remember when I was a kid, he was the most confronting thing I'd ever seen. The reality is, I look at he's in fucking fancy dress.
Yeah.
He's
didn't
hilarious.
Get it. You didn't get
He's
it
a
when he had
fucking
that
joke.
with the rib removed.
Yeah,
It
that's
was like,
right.
dude.
Was that- yeah, but that was all hearsay.
But that's it. But that's
It was-
con-
it
yeah,
was a
but,
lot
but
of
that's
myth.
all.
But
But
you
the
know who's-
context we get to view it through now is like, oh, that's a guy on Halloween taking
Yeah.
take a massive fucking laugh at an entire industry and exploiting some young kids in the fact they can rebel against
and what
their
they
parents.
take from it is their thing.
But
Yeah.
when he got fucking cycled up into the actual problems of an entire fucking
Nation.
government
Yeah.
and culture, it's like his question, the way he responded to it with that rebuttal was like, this is somebody who's thought far more about this than all of the fucking political
really,
pundits,
Yes.
Yeah.
all of the fucking politicians involved
Yeah.
who just wanted to go,
Shut him down, shut
It's
him
his
down."
fault. It's this guy in fancy dresses fault. Don't look at us.
And it's at the same time where fucking the president of the United States is getting blowjobs in the White House from Monica Lewinsky and dropping bombs on the Middle East, but no one's pointing at him going,
Yeah.
"Oh, you could be responsible for what happened
Yeah.
with that."
Did you know this guy
No,
may
it's
have had a
Marilyn
rib
Manson.
removed?
Yeah,
It's like he's got a dick.
But I feel like that kind of voice is happening now in a different, like what's her name, Billie Eilish.
Yeah.
I think she's fucking awesome.
Fuck.
The way that she's like, she doesn't want to be sexualized. She wears, you know, she's dresses like, you know, Tyler the Creator said. She's like, I had the #1 album for 1 week, and then this 17-year-old that dresses like a quarterback came over and knocked me over. But
Who said that?
Tyler the Creator.
Did he?
At the AMAs, he was wearing set, but like, you know, that sort of thing. Like
Some
and
chick who
she
dresses like a
wore
quarterback.
a shirt on her AMA perform
Yeah.
American music. It said no music in a dead world. It's like her way of being like, you know, supporting
Yeah.
climate change and speaking to her fucking.
So what are the young
43
kids going to
million-
do? Like, we're not young, but we
It's
are.
it's a different approach to Marilyn.
But what are they?
Manson. It's like,
Yeah, but they okay for sure. But what are they? What are they going to do? What have we left for them to do? Do you think?
I think it's a bigger question for. I mean, Monty and I don't have kids, but you, Jake, do,
And Kenny.
and sorry, Kenny as well.
Yeah, a couple
and I
each.
would I mean, it's something I talk to my sister
got
a
a
little bit
deuce
about,
each.
and Monty's brother, who's got a little goose himself.
Little goose. Goose one.
Yeah, I would like to ask you what you say to your kids, because they would surely be seeing this climate change.
I had my second
story.
one because I was fucking worried about my first one getting left alone in the fucking wasteland.
Yeah, there you go.
She needs a
Yeah.
fucking home.
She needs a mate.
Totally.
She does. You have one, and then I was like, "Oh, should we have it in second? Because this is not just like we're."
Someone back them up in their weirdness.
I speak about like
it's
being
okay
carbon
to be
neutral,
you are.
or there's two of us and we made two. If we had had one, we would have been carbon positive, but now we're carbon neutral.
yeah.
But we had our second one. There was a massive part. Ali and I spoke about it, being like, "Fuck, what do we do this? Because this is a fucking heavy thing to bring a kid into the world." But ultimately, it was like they need some hard. She needs a hard hitting homie with her, like just to fuck it. Just everyone needs a fucking pal in the end of days.
Yeah.
And like, I'll probably die of fucking heart-related injury at some point in my fucking 40s or something.
After this
That's
interview.
how
Yeah. It depends on how this goes. We're gonna, like. But the reality is, like, they are inhabiting. They're gonna have to fucking inhabit a world in which I think we've done we're doing a much better job than certainly our parents did about
100%.
shepherding and the environment, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But we're actually not there yet. Like our generation are
still
not
on
there as far as taking control. We're still dealing with the generation above us. They're the CEOs. They're the
Dinosaurs,
dinosaurs are not, but they're still the CEOs. They're still the fucking people running government. So we're going to take the reins at some point. I hope that we're listening to them a little bit about what we're going to do.
Yeah.
But, at the end of the day, do I have any trust in my generation? Fucking no way. No way. I don't fucking trust you to fucking run the country. I don't trust myself to run a fucking venue barely, let alone a fucking entire thing.
No one's ever voted. I'll tell you, there was. I've always got this theory on like politics about like no one in their fucking right mind, like the smartest person you ever know, who would probably kill at that job, would never do it.
At politics.
So true.
I don't know
it's a
who gets
thankless
into
job.
it.
So we end up getting run by the fucking C squad, not even the B squad.
yeah,
We're run by the C
yeah,
squad.
like the
Someone who's
dumbest cunts
got
in the world.
a personal agenda, or it's like, well, I'm kind of good at this, so I'll just fucking run for whatever. It's
Clive
like
Palmer.
the smartest cunt would never do that. Like we're always going to be left in the C squad. So therefore, like I don't know, like if democracy's had its day or not. Like how do we move past this? But yeah, like in our future, like what do we like? We always talk about leaving it a better world for our children, and how we do it. They're already smarter than us because we're in that mid generation. We kind of got a bit of technology. We kind of didn't. We don't really know how to
Same.
work that.
Yeah.
We fucking hate those old cunts, but we
Your
don't
kids
really
are
know what's
teaching-
coming behind
your
us.
kids are
So it's
teaching
like
you
someone
stuff.
else is going to take the reins.
hate
We're gonna
those
be
young
like,
cunts
we'll
too.
just sit this one out. We'll sit this one out. The president and the prime minister
But
go
we-
from like a 70-year-old to like a 28-year-old.
sat shit
They'll
out.
just miss us out.
None of
entirely.
us have sat shit out. All of us are
No,
fucking
we've had it
doing
lucky.
things.
We're in a good time. And
But all of us are doing things, and this
Good
is
end up.
like all of us are doing things. Like
It's doing things is one thing, but I feel like the state of times where we're in now is we're at a point where you've got to you're limited to what you saying things is an issue. Doing things is one thing.
So let me ask you guys. I know this is a part of Kenny's research, but the reality is like, what's it like to fucking write a record post Me Too, as a fucking band of 5 boys? Like that's a part
Good
of
question.
it, right?
Like
how does lyrics get formed?
think
How
it-
does fucking how what's your
No,
input
some shit
into
did
culture?
change. Some shit went weird. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Well, just stuff that we never thought. I mean, because
But how do you write a fucking tune?
we have
that-
never
that was
changed how we were.
fuck you.
you
how we
still
were
can't
writing.
cover it. Like, no, we're not writing misogynistic.
You never were, but
No.
did,
Yeah.
I mean,
but
so we
did
didn't
it?
really
But,
have to
did it
change-
shape anything?
No,
when
they
you
did though. There
through
was
the writing
just a couple
process?
of weird things, like like the label, for example, was like, we had these shirts that were our most popular selling shirts, and
Chicks love.
It says
Rigs.
girls love rigs,
rigs,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And the reason that shirt came about was because we were looking at our Facebook analytics one day, and we were like looking at all like where all our fans are, and it was all girls, and we're like, and someone's looking at them, they're
Girls
like,
love rigs?
girls love rigs, and we were like, we should put that on a shirt.
And it's also a fucking clever play on the fucking term rig. Which
exactly,
Yeah,
So
it's funny.
now all of a
That's
sudden,
funny.
Me Too happens, and it's like, guys, we don't really think you should be printing those
Alienating
shirts
or-
because it's a little
yeah.
bit, it's sexualizing women. It's like, we are liberating women, firstly. Like, none of our songs are misogynistic. No. All of our songs, and there are a lot about women, and they're really positive, great songs. And this T-shirt here, you could read that fucking 4 different ways.
You could take it any way you want.
That's not a
Take the
victimization.
vaginas off the wall, Jake. You've been through it. You know what it's
I
like.
fucking we took the vaginas off the fucking ceiling.
We took the shirts down.
Yeah.
But your shirts are on sale now.
Like there was
I saw them on
There's a
fucking
couple
Saturday.
over there.
Two
No,
left.
but
Coming back.
There's 2 left, baby.
but it is an interesting thing because we're all got to be responsible for culture. Do you know our culture? The thing was when it happened, we were just like the person who put the vaginas on the ceilings was a woman, and a fucking empowered.
But
woke
there's
woman.
heaps of vaginas
but we took them
in the
down.
cherry bar.
Yeah, well, we don't own cherry bars. It's not for you know what the thing is. It's not for us to fucking compare ourselves to anyone else other than our own personal fucking or corporate responsibility to fucking culture and to play a fucking positive hand back. And when we heard the feedback, there's a reason why we didn't stand on it. They're gone. And we're like, whilst we defended the woman,
right for them to be,
like the incredible artist Jessica Cochran, the most
amazing.
amazing. She's woke as fuck, if you want to use that horrible, weird term. But she's like, what? It changed so quickly from female empowerment of the body to like, you know, like it went from free the nipple to something else. And we needed to listen, and we did listen, and we shut the fuck up. And I guarantee you, one of the things none of us are going to do right now is like start commentary on how it can be improved. It's not our fucking role, but it is to listen and to fucking do things. But it still informs what you do going forward. So that last record that you wrote, it has to have informed. Like artists reflect culture. They reflect culture back somehow, and I'm interested in if there was any interplay between you guys, the songwriting process at all.
More of a personal
record
to each other. Like, it was almost like we looked inside our fucking 10 years of being together and the ups and the downs, and like most of the songs like are about internal struggles or. You know, like family or
Hold your fucking microphone straight.
Relationships and sorry.
Don't apologize.
Sorry,
But
Jacob.
that's you know.
Don't apologize to me. Apologize to him.
It was almost like a cathartic record for us as a band that had kind of been through, you know, stuff where we were finding.
But we've
who
got
out we
friends
were
who've
and-
been through this process.
Oh yeah, dude. Like, and but you know, and that, but
he's
they
harder
got
than we have.
but they all like that.
And
That
you-
band
and you-
that we're
you
speaking
took your-
of.
You took your time
Like
over this
Van
record as
Zert.
well.
The-
This
well, yeah.
record wasn't like you didn't write this in 10 months and bash it out and tour. This is like a 3-4 year.
It was
record.
about 2 years.
About 2 years?
Yeah.
So it's like it was
But it was very
reworking.
it's a
It
very
was coming back.
It's
thinking,
a personal record, and so for me, I think for me personally, it's my favorite thing. Like I've said, when I get older and I look back, I'll look at this record and be like, that's the fucking.
Because you think
That's
more
what
about
I
life
felt.
now.
That's what we felt. That's where we were as a band.
It's
You know, like Elliot
when you're like-
wrote a song on it about, you know, like writing a letter to his family post-mortem, like posthumously. So like if he died, like, hey, you know, don't frown. I'm, you know, even though I'm not around. Like, it's like these really kind of personal issues that
Because you don't think about that shit when you're 22.
Well, you don't.
24.
And you're like,
You're
you
just
know, we're
like you're
singing
writing
like
something
about,
like good
you know,
times.
you know,
And if
Like,
you
this
are,
is
you're
a
like,
political
fuck.
topic, but the topic, like coming back to what we're all talking about, the topics have changed now. You've like we're all so much more mature.
True, because
it's fucking like man childish as a
Johnny
lot
Wine.
of us are. It's like the
you
topics
like
have
you get it,
changed.
yeah.
We think differently. We talk a lot about this lovely Layla in the corner here, who's like a creative director with Mary's. And it's all talking about how does Mary's grow up from like what it was in Newtown
like
when
the
we were just
fucking
getting
Jack
hammered
Daniels
and just being like,
and-
"Fucking yeah."
We had
Like
no
to being-
fucking concept.
having a responsibility
need to?
to
That was the
ourselves.
concept.
But do you need to grow up?
That
Like,
was
is
the
that, you know, like it
concept.
is
Well, no,
what
I-
it is,
no-
and it's like you get the new
No, we
generation
just,
that comes through.
it's
that
not
wants to
about
feel
like
that.
do we need to. It's the fact that we are, and like we've talked about, we both have 2 children now, and we're just slightly different people. And it's about the like what you're talking about, the honesty of your record. Like our venues and our brand has to reflect the honesty of who we are now. It's not like, let's just leave that flag in the sand when we're 24 and run with that forever. Like we're not Kiss. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Not some 41.
Like basically like
Some 41.
so good. I hate Kiss
we're
too.
trying to
I
grow.
hate Kiss.
We're trying to grow with our work and with our legacy and with.
You don't still want to party every day.
Yeah, we gave up the face, but the face pays for the kids' birthday parties now. That's
That's right.
well, I think there was still, even with previous records, cheeky songs about girls. There's one in particular that just comes to mind on this kind of subject, which is like maybe we wouldn't have ever written about on this new one, which is a song called Baddest Motherfucker in the Beehive on the last one. And that, for me, came about writing it from doing, as you guys know, because you've employed me steadfastly over the years, when I'm not on the road, I'm often doing DJ sets. The weird thing that happens when you're doing a DJ set is all of a sudden, like, I guess if it's a girl, the same thing would happen, but I'm not a girl, so I'm a guy, so I'm standing in the booth doing my thing, and all these girls start looking at you like you're really important, like you have some special magical power to, so they start kind of vowing for your, giving you the eyes, and that's that whole line of that song is like, fucking, what's the line again? It's like,
You wrote it, motherfucker.
yeah, I'm trying to remember. I see it in your eyes. You want to be my babe, and all your friends are going to be like, "Hey, girl, that's fresh. I've seen him on your arm. He must be the best." But it's like really, it's about them having the win. It's got nothing to do with the
you taking
me
advantage
at all.
of it.
Yeah, it's actually the other way around. And I'm like, as soon as my DJ set ends and the next one gets up, you'll be looking at him exactly the same way.
Yeah.
So there was always subject matters about girls in our songs. But I don't really feel like it was tiered in any way. It was just like, this is fun boy-girl shit, We are young, we want to fuck each other. That goes for either side of the
what's
party.
been happening for fucking thousands.
Yeah, that's got nothing to do with an agenda or anything. It's just what is that's in our DNA to get up and want to do that, and especially want to do that in your 20s. When you still, I guess, want to do it in your 30s, you just kind of figure out how to do it differently.
Oh man, you're so much lazier. Oh my god, I feel so sorry. Feel so sorry for my current wife, not even the future iteration of the same wife. She's
Don't say
in
that.
for a fucking terrible time of laziness.
Just standing here.
If you stop sleeping with your wife, that is a
I
mortal.
start sleeping with my wife.
I'm Jewish,
fucking
right? That's a mortal sin. You do not stop sleeping with your wife.
Yeah.
It's
I'll be surprised
offensive
if
to both parties.
I'll be surprised if she continues to sleep
Sleep
with me.
with you, yeah.
I'll
every
have a
time
word
it
with her
happens-
too then.
To be honest, every time it happens again, I'm like this. She's a fucking idiot.
What did you do that for?
I'm like this. Yes.
I was saying this to
What is
Monty the other
wrong
day. It
with
was like
you?
I figured like until I was like
I've seen me
25.
under fluorescent lights naked. I'm terrible. You're drunk, lady.
There was a time, I think, for every male before you get to like 25 and you get a clue where it's like, if you got laid, you honestly, like, you don't know how it happened. Like, it came out of
Come
nowhere.
out the other
You're like-
side,
You're
like-
like the next day, like, I wish that could happen again, but I don't know what I did.
wish I could
You know,
remember what happened.
Because it's not really, there's no picking up girls. The girls decide to sleep with you and you're just there. And then I think when you get a bit older, then you kind of figure out like, I could maybe like
bit of, like-
have a shower. You know?
Change my sheets.
Make some
sheets on my
conversation.
bed.
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Say smart things that I've read before.
Yeah. Talk about facts.
Yeah, see,
They might do a little bit of research, Kenny.
Mate, it's all about the research.
It's all about the research.
I like the research.
So what's next for you boys after this? Like, is
Hopefully
this the
breaking
last
up,
fucking
yeah.
tour of the fucking Delta Rigs?
No,
like,
no, no.
What
Was it
happens
the start
from
of the
here?
interview? By the end of the
we're
interview,
doing
your
Billy
friends
Idol.
again?
We're doing the Billy Idol tour in January.
I fucking read that.
Billy
What's that
Idol,
gonna be
mate.
like?
It's-
Stadiums. In,
Not Billie Eilish, Billy Idol.
Yeah,
no,
not Billie
Billie Idol,
Eilish.
yeah.
And we're also going to New Zealand with our good friend Sticky Fingers.
Sick.
We're doing like 6 shows with them, stadium
Yeah.
shows.
We are also, as well dropping a dub record of our previous album called Active Galactic Higher Than Before. It's an extended dub. It's for like when you come home, you all want to go on the kick-ons. We're familiar with that in Sydney because of these lockout laws, which we were discussing as well. And you want to put on that record that just goes for like 45 minutes so you can get to the bottom of it at that stained glass table out in the backyard. This is the record for that. That's what we're
Yes.
going to be. I'm excited about it because I love dub and reggae, and it's something I've wanted to do for a long time. We've got
It's
a bunch of
interesting. I feel the dub reggae thing because I know you, but it's fucking your music is so much more disco than that.
Only
Where's the
No,
fucking?
like it's fucking. I think it's
All
like
right,
right in the
mate.
middle. It's right in the middle.
Well, that's the thing. We've never. I don't
No,
know
it's
if it's.
not.
I don't know if it's.
I think it's really disco. No, it's not.
I don't
Wrong,
know
Jack.
if it's been a
We're
detriment to
fucking
us
fight.
as a band. It's just like we do, like, on a record, on an album of our songs, you'll hear 3, 4, 5 different styles of music. It's like a genre bending record without
Definitely,
sounding wanky. But like that's
You
what
do
we do,
sound
and we
wanky.
challenge it. And it's like you're not just getting meat and potatoes for fucking 12 songs. It's like this song is like a disco song, like, and then this song's like some real weird, like ornate, like beautiful song, and then you've got, and we've always seemed to do. So we've never actually been able to be like, this band is this. Like,
I think that's what's really probably stalled us from reaching the heights of some of our peers that we started with. That we are constantly trying to reinvent ourselves because, like we were talking about before, we only care about the music.
This
So
is what I'm
if
saying,
we wanted to find a formula and be like, all right, we could do that.
Formulas can go fuck themselves.
But the idea of
Well,
like
the formula
genre
is
bending
also
is
equals
like
success,
when I was like
but-
21 years old and be like, fuck, if I was a band, you do like a song like this, song like that, like you would like encompass everything. But like that's it's not what sells. People
It's
want
not
a
what
real
sells.
people want a real clean line of like, who am I listening to, who am I buying into. This one I want 10 songs that sound exactly like that.
And that's why I
Like,
admire
slow
bands
ones
like
and fast
Violent
ones, but I
Soho
want
and
it-
stuff.
It all sounds the
that are-
same.
That are just, they find their
Meat
thing,
and
and
their own.
they've 6
Dune
records.
rats.
Yeah, for me, my brain restricts me from doing that because I would just
Yeah.
get bored and walk away.
Yeah,
and I think we are that kind of band where we're all kind of like that. So we do recognize that is
It's almost a detriment, but
it's detrimental to how. But at the same time, we probably wouldn't be around if we had
But
to do the
what
same
is it-
record
what
5
is
times.
it about you creatively that makes you just fucking absolutely say no to that sort of drug of just
Like the same.
repetition?
Well, nothing.
Like
Nothing
investing
consciously.
into what people love you for. Like Ken and I, like Mary's, sort of like every single fucking venue that we've done over the last 4 years, for 6 years, has been so totally different. And part of me is like, we want to be
We feel
creatively
But
engaged.
it's hard. You got to wear different hats.
But also,
We
we are
feel that.
aware
I
of
think
the
people
fact that
probably don't.
punters there's a massive part of the punters just want the same thing from us.
Yeah.
So I get the fucking
But at
the
the
band, the motorheads of the world who just go
fully.
dun, 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 dun,
No,
dun,
I
or
respect
just-
it, yeah.
But I get it. I respect the fuck out of it, but I'm incapable of doing it
But
for whatever
that's-
reason. But I'm just interested in
Yeah,
why.
I'll tell you why.
Yeah, please.
Because human beings, like whether you like it or not, I'm a selfish person. As much as I like to be selfless, I'm selfish. So like,
I'm pretty selfish,
You don't want to just, you're like saying, as much as people want me to do this, I'm gonna do this, because it's like you're living your life for you.
Yeah, you think
You
you
know,
know
you can
better.
only live for other people to some extent. So it's like you want to fulfill yourself before you're fulfilling everyone. That's how I feel
Yeah.
about it. I'm like, you get one spin around this shit.
I think, look,
like,
I think you're
don't
entirely
fucking
right.
compromise your
I
own.
think you're entirely right. Like there's
what you feel is like you want to do and do it. Like
that
rather
juxtaposition
than
of
go,
like,
"Oh, should I do this?"
people want
People want this, but-
People want creative people. People like want to invest in that. They want that to be a part of their life. They want it to be around them. And it's that whole idea of like never meet your heroes. Because they're like meet
They
your
all
fucking
suck.
hero. They're a selfish, egotistical
Yeah, but
fuck.
but you got to
Like, they don't
accept that
care about
before you go in.
Yeah, no, exactly. But like
Well, to
we're
expect-
talking about that really ground level of like, our everyday jobs is about being creative and being a little bit selfish and a little bit like taking what we want from life because we think we deserve it.
I think it's
like,
like-
but we're also trying to give to
Yeah.
someone else, so like the woman that we love or our children, whatever. Like we're trying to give a little bit, and we just end
There's
up being
this-
this like, yeah, we're just kind of like selfish
Well,
versions. of
no,
like
but
the,
you know what it is? It's like people expect, like, there's this great line in this song, and I've said this to my girlfriend once, which, like, I'm like,
Which
there's this
song?
line, it's like, if you don't expect too much from me, you might not be let down. It's like,
Yeah.
everyone has expectations of every single, it's
You
like,
can't
I
control
Nobody's
that.
I know, but you
perfect,
expect
yeah.
it, but it's like, stop expecting that I'm going to think the way you think, and I'm going to do
So you
exactly
think
what
that
you
people should
so it's-
expect less from the
well,
Delta Reach?
no, I don't mean it like that. Don't expect. Come to us, like, don't expect. Like, I listened to this fucking Bob Dylan thing. It's like that's the thing about expectations.
He's a fucking on a different
But he's
plane,
like,
that boy.
that's the thing about expectations. It's like I'm here doing what I'm doing. It's like you're coming to see me. It's like, what do you expect? Like, it's like
I heard he
you're
did
let-
fucking blowing in the wind in
But
a
do you know
waltz
what-
once.
But do you know what I mean? though? Like, that's cool. He's doing that for him.
Yeah.
That's sick shit.
It's
I'd
fucking
Love to hear that.
come to a Bob Dylan show with no expectations and get what you get.
Well, that's
Yeah.
that's what he's
Don't-
demanded
I
from
went
people.
But
I went to a Bob
there's
Dylan
beauty
show when I
in
was
that.
like
He's a
20.
fucking-
But you
22.
have to be Bob Dylan to do
But
that.
he's
Like
happy.
we are
Yeah.
not Bob Dylan.
I went to a
right?
Bob
I'm
Dylan
not
show. I was like
refer- sorry.
22 in Glasgow
But, like, that's
with
how
like
you gotta
one of
live.
my best mates and his father, because we went because his dad fucking loved Bob Dylan, like always listened to him, and he passed away. It's the second to last time I went back to Scotland was to go to his funeral. John McDermott, God fucking rest his soul.
God bless him.
And he loved Bob Dylan. We went to the show, and me and my mate Chris, we were like 22 at the time, because we used to listen to it, a lot. And we're like, fuck, I wish he'd just play something that we kind of knew, because he like his arrangements changed throughout his entire touring career, and everything was different.
That's all for
we were
him.
like, fuck, I wish he'd play something we knew, like fucking Blowing in the Wind or something. And it was like he was literally playing Blowing in the Wind at that moment, and it's like, but it was like so fucking augmented. But it was like we're just waiting for the blowing
That's
in
like
the
Paddy
wind.
said he saw him
And
in
it's like
London
it
and he
just
just-
changed. They were just like, and
Blowing
he
in
said
the
the words. They were like,
Yeah.
he just sang it, and we just fucking sang it like a couple of months.
We
Blowing
missed
in
it.
the wind.
Yeah, blowing in the
Blowing in
wind.
the wind.
But like that's the thing about
That's how good you
expectations.
can
like
get.
just
That's a
at the end
different
of the
level.
day, you're outputting it. You're putting in the energy. You can only bend so much to what your initial vision is, right?
Yes.
You
entirely.
can't do everything for everyone else all the time because
Well, I
you're
don't think
always-
you're capable
You're
of-
gonna
And then you
send
get really
yourself
selfish
fucking
again.
mad.
You
because
give
that
you give a
person-
bit away, and then you get really
and
selfish
then,
again.
Yeah,
And,
then
always,
you're
like,
an
it's a
asshole.
fucking like it's a
yeah.
recurring fucking cycle.
I don't think you're ever capable of giving anyone anything of what your fucking vision is currently. Like anyone who's going to give themselves 100% to any sort of idea, there can be no one else. There can be
no.
no
And it's like-
one else. It's a really lonely game when you're fucking thinking about breathing any sort of creative version of you into a moment. There can be no whisper of anyone else.
No, that's right.
It
So
has
you've
to
gotta be selfish.
unadulterated.
Yeah.
It has to be
Selfish
the fucking.
is a bad word to use, but I think
Well,
it's, it
I
can be
think
good.
selfish has become a bad word to use.
It can
but
be
the
good.
reality is, like, tell me what fucking collaborative Picasso looks like.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like, tell me
right?
what collaborative fucking Van Gogh
or
look
Salvador
like.
Dali or
Right.
anything, any of
Yeah,
that.
yeah, collaborative fucking Bob Dylan looks like
Yeah.
it's dog shit. It's boring. They become
But he's-
these rote.
It's kind of
fucking
like when,
versions. They're
Jessica
They
Malboy-
become cover bands.
It's kind of like when Jessica
own
Malboy did a song that featured Snoop Dogg.
Snoop. He got got his fee, and it's just
And
like,
you're
why
just
do you
looking
do
at
it?
this stuff like,
Yeah.
Like, why did
and
you do that?
why do we need to see Ed Sheeran and Pharrell Williams in the same film?
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
how much did this brother get paid to get in this fucking
Fully.
film clip
Yeah.
with this dude?
Yeah, fuck. That's a whole other topic. That's a whole
It is.
other
It is.
topic.
Well, I mean, there's a million we could go through. How long does this thing go for? An hour?
Basically now.
No, we should do
Oh, good.
episode 2 probably.
Well, I
How
mean,
long
we've
we go-
covered a lot of ground.
How long
Yeah.
have we been going?
An hour.
An hour.
An hour.
I got the hour, not the
We
wrap
got the
up.
hour nod.
We got a show to do too.
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
Aren't
Alright.
you guys gonna make a pizza with these guys
Yeah,
downstairs?
you're gonna
sound
make
like
a
We're
pizza
gonna do
downstairs,
heaps of
so-
things more
Yeah.
sober than we currently are.
Yeah. You've made me drunk.
You got to play
Made
a show
you
tonight,
drunk.
motherfucker.
You guys got anything
You
to
choose
sober
your
up
own
with?
choices at every
I've
point.
been-
from the
I don't
moment
know
you
anything
wake
about.
up.
We know nothing about sobriety.
I've
fucking-
become drunk.
Also,
but hey,
Monty, I
you
want to
know-
say your haircut's beautiful. The new
Thank you,
haircut.
thank you.
Look,
And we, Ellie and I adore you too.
Oh,
Can
we
we-
love you.
And
Thank
we
you so
love
much.
everything that you
for
guys
being
have done, and we've been in from the start. of
Huge
it.
Fucking
fans.
everyone.
Yeah.
It's
And,
pretty
you
beautiful
know-
to have you guys back here,
Yeah.
2.5 years
Special.
after reopening the Lansdowne Hotel, to have our first fucking vodcast done with a band that we love and
Well,
who
we're friends
supported
as
our
well.
fucking our dream and the dream of an entire fucking city to see a fucking live music that's worth anything back on its feet. And to be able to do this today with you guys has been fucking huge. So thank you so much.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
can't wait to see the fucking show.
Thanks.
All right,
fellas.
that's us.
We
I'm
love
psyched
you.
for the show. Yeah, and I'm psyched to know you guys too. So thanks for having
Yeah.
us.
Well
That's
done.
the fucking greatest.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Cool.
Love yes.
Thanks.
Got it.
Cheers.
Awesome.
Get some wine in.
Thanks,
I'm
fellas.
fucking hammered all of a sudden.
Great fucking.
I need the shit.
I need the shit.
Was that alright?